In the bottom portion of your notes, where you saved some space, we're going to be writing in a theorem and a proof. And the theorem is theorem 2-3, and it's very short. It says vertical angles are congruent. And since this one doesn't have a name, we're going to give it an AKA, so it's also known as the vertical angle theorem. This doesn't take, not too fancy title there, but this is really what it is. Now, and as short as this theorem is, you'll be using this theorem a lot in not just this chapter, but throughout the entire school year. It just does not go away. And it's pretty simple. What it says is if you have two lines that are intersecting, and that's any way that they happen to intersect. So if you have two lines that are intersecting, then angles that are vertical to each other, and this is a part that sometimes kids can't see. This angle right here is a vertical angle to this angle. So kind of the nose, the vertex, the vertices are touching. So we could say angle 1 and 2 are vertical angles, and angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because vertical angles are congruent. Now remember, we use two-column proofs to prove a theorem, and we're going to prove that vertical angles are congruent. Actually, you are. Here's the given information. Angle 1 and 2 are vertical angles. 1 and 2 are vertical angles, and they'd like you to prove that they're congruent. Now what I did here is I cut out the reasons portion, and what I'd like you to do is pause the video and give this a try. Go through what they've said and see if you can fit in what the justification is for each of these statements. Now I want to warn you, this one's from your textbook and there's something pretty big that's missing. You might call it line 0 since they didn't do it. Line 0, angle 1, and angle 2 are vertical angles. And we'll call that your line 0. And you can go ahead and write in the 0 section here, the 0 reason. You know what that is. So I'd like you to take a moment, pause the video, and write in the justifications over here. And when you're ready, go ahead and see if you got them right. All right, let's see how you did. Now, hopefully for number 0, you wrote in given. And that's always our first section there. So number 1 is given. Number 0 is given. Number 1 says that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 is 180, and the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is 180. So they're using the same justification to say two things. Now they're saying two angles, they're adding to equal something. That's the angle addition postulate. How are we doing so far? Did you do well? Okay, next. Next they say the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. Now what they did here is they took this statement, which equals 180 degrees, and they set it equal to this statement, which also equals 180 degrees. So what they essentially did is they took this expression and substituted it for 180 degrees. So if you wrote substitution, you were right. Good job. Okay, then they said the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 3, and that's the reflexive property. Anytime they say something's equal to itself, it's the reflexive property. And last but not least, somehow they got angle 1 and angle 2 equal to each other. Now, they got rid of angle 3 from this equation. They subtracted it from both sides. So that is the subtraction property of equality. Now this is one of the simplest proofs, and I hope that you were successful in doing this proof.